Thank you for joining us now. And here are some of the stories we're filing at this hour. I am Frank Komalape. And now the National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's gross domestic product increased by 4.03% in the third quarter of last year. This is according to a report released by the NBS on Nigeria gross domestic product to report expenditure and income approach for third and fourth quarter of 2021 in Abuja. In the third quarter of last year, the report said Nigeria's real GDP at basic prices grew by 4.03% on year-on-year basis, showing a steady improvement from the economic downturn in 2020. The NBS said growth improved further in fourth quarter of last year with a positive GDP growth rate of 3.98%. According to the report, household consumption expenditure in third quarter and fourth quarter last year grew by 19.36% and 7.3% in real terms year on year. Nigeria's power generation recorded its first uptick in the week as GENCOs generated a total of 89.01 megahertz of energy on Wednesday. This is 2.6% higher than the 86.7 megawatts generated on Tuesday, 10th May 2020. This is according to information from the Transmission Company of Nigeria. In the same vein, power supply recorded a 2.7% increase to 87.72 megawatts on Wednesday as against 85.4 supplied on Tuesday, 10th of May. Despite the marginal uptrend, Nigeria's energy generation is still significantly below the minimum of 105,000 megawatts required to record some level of stability in power supply in the country. While Nigeria's Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, while discussing in an interactive session on frequent national grid collapse with the Senate Committee on Power and critical stakeholders, said that the ministry is working towards a reliable power grid to ensure efficient electricity supply in the country. Well, to help us understand this better, I'm being joined right now by ADETAYO ADEGBENLE, convener, ED POWERUP Nigeria. Thank you for joining us on Business Now.
Yeah, good afternoon, Lagos. Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, good afternoon. Very well. Now, Nigeria's power generation recorded its first jump in the week with a total of 89.01 megawatts of energy on Wednesday. This is about 2.6% higher than the previous one generated on Tuesday. So let me ask you, how do you react given the fact that the case is different in some places?
Okay. Number one, let me first of all correct the unit. The figure that you have there is 89,000 megawatt hour.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
89,000 megawatts hour per hour, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. The total figure generation, actually, the energy generator was like about 3,937 megawatts. There are two different units. But then it's funny because it's a jump. It's reported as a jump from what to where. Is it enough to even cater for needs in the country? Is it enough for us to? Is it something for us to celebrate? I doubt it. There is work to be done, and I'm not even proud of the surface at all. So that the report is coming out celebrating that, well, I don't know what the intention is. We have a load of work. I mean, for instance, you refer to the meeting that the Federal Minister, the Honorable Minister of Power, had with the Senate Committee now, yes, talking about the grid collapse and everything. For us to have a stable grid on itself, apart from the basic grid infrastructure that we also need other things. I mean, for instance, we've been toying around having what we call the spinning reserve. That spinning reserve is meant to keep the national grid stable so that any power generation company can inject their power that has been generated into it. We don't have that. So that's why in the moment any generating company goes down, it destabilizes the whole grid infrastructure, and that's why we continue to have those incessant grid collapse.
Well, I think this update, this is just an update according to Transmission Company of Nigeria. The figure jumped from 85,000.4 megawatts hour to 87.72. I think this is just an update, really. But give us, an eyewitness where you are. What's the supply like? The level of supply of electricity where you are, and some of the feedback you're getting around your environment.
Well, if I'm to speak to that, there are a lot of things that I also believe that we can't compare. I mean, comparing where I am to a place like Abule or a place like Ele, or a place like Olugweru in Ibadan, for instance, there's been a lot of injustice, to that kind of comparing an apple and an orange. I happen to live in a place where I have the more regular power supply. I mean, I was speaking on the platform where I was telling them that I spent 4 months in Olugweru in Ibadan, and the total energy that I received for that period is not up to what I've received in a week where I am at the moment. So I have that benefit because I'm also able to travel around the country. Like 2 weeks ago, I was in Yola. This week I'm supposed to be in Damaturu. Next week I'll be in Abuja. This week right now I'm in Jos. So it is a question of having to balance the demand from all places, what each disco is able to take up from the grid, and what they're able to utilize. Then of course you also know that there are, from the present bands that we have those are in band A, those are in band B's, and those are in band C's, like that up to E. So it also depends on where you are. So I will not use where I am at the moment to compare, but I will speak to places where we know that they will not really be having power supplies at all. I mean, I'm saying places like Olugweru in Ibadan. As I'm speaking to you right now, I had reports that in the last 12 days, they've not had any power supplies at all. And I know for a certainty that it's not because of any local fault. That's just the way they've been able to deliver power to that area for a long time. The other areas too, even in southern Lagos, I have not had light in quite a number of days. But I also believe that the system will claim that they're working to try and, fix up the issues. So again, I'm going to say this. There is nothing for me. Unfortunately, I don't see anything that I'm celebrating in Nigeria generating less than 4,000 megawatts. And we say we have a jump. What kind of jump? When we're talking about jump, let's say we're doing 3,000 this month, and by next month we are doing 12,000. Then that's a jump. That's something for us to celebrate. That's something for us to shout hooray about. And of course, by the time we are getting to 12,000 megawatts, nobody will tell you. You are the one that will be saying power has improved. Nobody will tell consumers that power has improved because they're going to feel it.
Well, in your advocacy work, and you've traveled far and wide. You just mentioned places you've been to in recent time. What do you suppose is the challenge here? Because we've discussed about the power challenge in Nigeria for decades, yet the problem still persists. What do you suppose is the root cause of this continuous issue of power challenge in the country?
All right. Incidentally, I was on another radio program yesterday where we were discussing the same issue. And I think I made it quite clear there. For us to continue doing something in the same way, and we're getting the wrong results, and yet people are complaining, and we keep doing it that way, trust me, we're not going to have any changes. And the government that came up with the idea of power sector reform did a very great job, in coming up with that. Now, speaking about power sector reform, basically what it means is that, you've been playing a particular system, you've been using a particular technique, and it's not been working. Then change it. The idea behind that's the basic idea behind the power sector reform. Our structure, the model that we have adopted with our power sector reform, the model that we have adopted for Nigeria's power sector, the whole architecture itself is not working. So we are at that point where the question should be, who is going to bail the cat? Who is going to be the strong man that will go ahead and do it? Yes, and it is also around this wrong infrastructure architectural design that we also have people that are there for one reason or the other. And we can't keep appointing people that have not, depicted or, shown the kind of any expertise or interest in finding solution to the problem and thinking that we're going to have it. Let's say, for instance, Jordan FM needs a new CEO today. I'm sure they won't appoint somebody because he's the boss friend, he's the chairman's friend, or he's from the chairman's family. The person will go for an interview, will know what your experience is like, what are you going to bring on board, how do you see us, what do you think, these are challenges, how do you think we can improve on it, how can we reach higher market? That kind of person, you look at the best option, they put in there. So against putting people because they have political affiliation or because somebody's friend, that's how it got there, you keep getting it wrong. So we have to look at this architecture that we are running on. It is totally wrong. It's not working. We have to change it. Then what about the personnel, the human resources that are behind it? Am I going there because I have personal interest? These are the kind of things I think we should talk about now. And it's interesting because now we're approaching a new election, a new government cycle. And I think that's one of the things that we should also be speaking to. And you see, why we keep saying this, it's not because we feel it is right for us to, criticize the government. It is because we understand the problem that we're having. There is no way Nigeria can industrialize when we are not, energy sufficient. There is no way we can, industries can work and we can get jobs for our youth. And unfortunately, our population keeps increasing. So unless we are able to tackle this problem and find an actual solution that works, again, it has to be built. We have to look at our structure. Why is it not working? We have an embed in between the generators, the market operators, and the distributors. What is its role of embed? We raised this issue last year when NEC was about to renew embed's license. What is their role? Why are you not making discos go directly and having a bilateral agreement with GenCos? We have seen instances where, for instance, like KJ Electric, that also owns the parent company of KJ Electric is also the parent company of ADEGBENLE.
Let me quickly come in here, Mr. ADETAYO. And some of these points you've raised, are they already in the ongoing conversations?
Well, they are. But the other end of this argument is the people that are in charge of this taking. How serious are they taking it? How committed are they into implementing the solutions? If I'm there because I'm making money and throw KPIs and nobody's holding me responsible for not meeting up with my performance in the field, then I will, after serving as a next commissioner or as a minister, I will tell you I did my best. I was going through my archives recently and I saw, a very popular man in this country that said, "Oh, is it not just for you? I can just imagine putting a better pass my neighbor together." The person became Minister of Power.
All right.
Quite all right. But what happened?
Okay.
The person left. Have you heard him speak about power since then? Why is he not talking about his experience? Why is he not able to make it work?
It's all right. It's ongoing conversation. We may not be able to address just at a sitting, but hope to bring you on other programs subsequently. Thank you for your time. ADETAYO ADEGBENLE is Executive Director of Power Nigeria Initiative. We appreciate your time on Business Now. You're also watching Business Now. To other stories now. And now Bitcoin has fallen below a critical 30,000 US dollar support zone, and with it, over 428,000 traders have lost a total of 1.22 billion US dollars in the last 24 hours, as margin calls and loss of funds have become the order of the day. Many have compared the decline in the market to what was seen in 2008 market crash, while others have likened this sell-off to the famous episodes, the Red Wedding of the popular TV series Game of Thrones. The entire cryptocurrency market capitalization has fallen approximately 20% as it currently stands at 1.16 trillion US dollars as of the time of this report, with strong indications that the market will soon lose a $1 trillion status. As with Bitcoin, so it's every other Bitcoin posting declines of 40% and more in the last 7 days as the sell-off deepens. Bitcoin liquidations accounted for the most as expected, representing $347.38 million, or about 28.51% of the total liquidations in the last 24 hours. Ethereum came in second, accounting for about $344.37 million US dollars, and in third place, Luna, accounting for $125.82 million. And a massive buying interest occasioned by improved corporate performance yesterday lifted transactions on the equities sector of the Nigeria Exchange Limited as market capitalization crossed the 28 trillion naira mark. Precisely, the all-share index inched higher by 1,303.04 absolute points, representing an increase of 1.99% to close at 52,838.45 points, while the overall market capitalization valued at 557 billion naira to close at 28.48 trillion naira respectively. The market gain was driven by price appreciation in large and medium capitalized stocks amongst which are MTN Nigeria Communications, Okomo Oil, Dangote Cement, Presco, and Nigerian Berries. And in the meantime, the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, and the Federal Inland Revenue Service have set up a joint committee to enhance national revenue in the telecom sector. The 17-member committee was inaugurated by the NCC's Executive Commissioner Stakeholder Management Adeleke Adewolu for the Commission's Executive Vice Chairman Umaru Dambata and the Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mohammed Nami. The committee comprised 6 officials of NCC and 11 officials of Revenue Service. A statement signed by its Director of Public Affairs, Ikechukwu Adewolu, says the terms of reference of the committee include review of the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the NCC and the Revenue Service on June 9, 2020, and carry out interagency interaction on the implementation of the NCC Revenue Assurance System to ensure that it incorporates the needs of Revenue Service to the extent that RAS can remain the sole interface with telecom service providers' networks vis-a-vis the tax authorities' information needs from the telecom sector. Now, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency has vowed to fight marine pollution in Nigeria to a standstill. The Director General of NIMASA, Bashir Jamo, who said this in Lagos, noted that the agency was committed to improving the living and working conditions of seafarers aboard ships. Jamo was represented at the event by the Executive Director of Operations, Shehu Ahmed, said that this could be the achievement by developing a system of harmonized post-state control inspection procedures. He also said that such a system of harmony will only be achieved by working through the synergistic quadrants of cooperation, coordination, collaboration, and cooperation. The NIMASA boss says the agency is committed to ensuring that substandard vessels did not find safe haven in the West and Central African region. Following the refusal of the Nigerian Communications Commission to grant the request of telecom operators seeking 40% rise in the cost of voice call, short message service, and data services, the operators have insisted on a peer review of the floor price for telecom services delivery across networks. Chairman Association of Licensed Telecom Operators of Nigeria, Gbenga Adebayo, said a peer review became necessary following the sharp increase in the cost of diesel from 220 naira per litre in January this year to 700 naira per litre currently, which he said has impacted negatively on the running cost of telecom operations since the telcos use diesel to power their base stations 24 hours non-stop. ADETAYO was reacting to NCC's rejection to the request made by the telecom sector for upward review of the cost of telecom service offering. Said that he was not surprised at the rejection because telcos did not expect NCC to increase cost without understanding the difficult challenges that operators pass through in delivering telecom services to the people. Telcos had last week sent a letter to NCC to consider upward review of the cost of voice call, SMS and data services by 40%, a development that triggered reactions from telecom subscribers who objected to the planned hike. Responding to the reactions, NCC in statement assures subscribers that telcos cannot collectively or unilaterally increase costs of telecom services without due process. You're watching Business Now, coming to you live from our studios. Still to come after the break. Apple's share fall as the tech company loses position as most valuable firm. I'll bring you details and more business stories after this time out. Please stay with us.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
True unripe plantain flour is 100% natural flour gotten from the processing of unripe plantain. It contains no addictive and has a net content of 500 grams. True unripe plantain flour contains vitamin A, B6 and C. It is gluten-free and rich in calcium. Consuming through unripe plantain flour helps to build and strengthen stronger bones and can be a great meal for diabetic patients. It decreases your chances of constipation as it has a high fiber content and provides you with a low-fat diet. Here are some steps to prepare your through unripe plantain flour. Firstly, mix through unripe plantain flour with hot water in a pot and gradually add water till you achieve desired thickness. Place over medium heat and turn very well for 4 to 5 minutes to get the right texture. Mold into a ball and place in a bowl and allow to cool. Serve with your choice of soup. Through unripe plantain flour can be eaten with any variety of soup, be it your ofe oha, ofe onugbu, begiri, ewedu, or your miyan kuka. To get your through unripe plantain flour, contact us at 12 Olowera Isheri Road by First Welder bus stop off Omole Phase 2, Olowera, Lagos, Nigeria, or call 070-6663-8213 or 081-6397-4447. Distributors are needed.
If you just join us, this is Business Now, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos. On the African scene now, the continuous increase increase in food and transport prices across Ghana has pushed the national year-on-year inflation for April 2022 to 23.6%. This was captured in the Consumer Price Index data released by the Ghana Statistical Service. The rate is 4.2% point higher than the 19.4% recorded in March 2022. The rise in the inflation rate for April 2022 is the highest recorded since the Ghana Statistical Service rebased the Consumer Price Index in August 2019. A statement issued by the Ghana Statistical Service noted that this is the first time in 29 months that inflation for imported items exceeded domestic inflation, while inflation for locally produced items was 23%, inflation for imported items was 24.7%. And on the foreign scene, Apple has lost its position as the world's most valuable company amid a broad sell-off of technology stocks. Saudi Arabian oil and gas producer Aramco has reclaimed the top spot for the iPhone maker for the first time in almost 2 years. Investors have been selling shares in technology firms as they move into what they see as less risky asset. Shares in Apple fell by more than 5% in New York on Wednesday to end the trading day with the stock market valuation of 2.37 trillion US dollars. That means it lost its position as the most valuable company in the world to oil and gas producer Aramco, which was valued at 2.42 trillion US dollars. It is the first time that the Aramco has held the top spot since 2020. Shares in the energy producers have risen this year as the cost of crude oil and natural gas have gone up. In the meantime, the rock, the biggest white diamond ever auctioned, sold for a hammer price of 18.6 million Swiss francs. That's about 18.8 million US dollars on Wednesday, far short of the record for such a jewel. The 228.31 carat stone, larger than a golf ball, was sold in Geneva by Chris's auction house. There had been high hopes that the rock would smash the world record for a white diamond, which stands at $33.7 million, fetched in Swiss City in 2017 for 163.41 carat gem. But the bidding, which started at 14 million francs, came to a halt after 2 minutes at $18.6 million, though the price will increase once taxes and the buyer's premium are added on. The pre-sale estimate had been 19 to 30 million Swiss francs.